Melinda, would you like to come forward, please?
I took my shoes off already. Good. Now I'm short.
I just want to give this to Melinda.
Thank you. Don't cry.
Thank you for everything.
You're welcome.
And we're glad that she's back. We're going to take her back.
Thank you, Cece. Okay, Melinda, it's time for your farewell and
Dance, come along.
give your gift to your...
No, the gift will be tomorrow.
Okay.
They're all in matter. As usual. Okay.
She shrunk 6 inches.
How did I get here? Most of you know my humble beginning, where my sister and I were orphaned when I was 10 years old, and we have not even a dime to rub together. The only thing that actually kept me moving forward is that on her dying deathbed, she said, the only way you are going to move forward and reach your destination is you have to pave the way for your sister at the age of 10. What do? I become of age really fast. I would get up very early in the morning. I would harvest vegetables and sell them to wholesale before 6 o'clock, and I went to school. And I did that for a number of years. So when I graduated from elementary, and I graduated with full scholarship to go to high school. In the Philippines, high school is not free. You have to pay for it. And the only way you can go to high school is that either you pay or you go on a scholarship ride. And I did. However, I cannot do it because I had to go to work to provide for my sister. So one day I was traveling to Manila in a bus. And I loved math when I was young. I used to teach math, my schoolmates and stuff. And I saw the sign called Modern Institute of Computer Science. And the word compute kind of, intrigued me because I love to compute. So I got off the bus and I asked if I can get a job. I was 16 years old. And they have one old IBM 029 that was clunk, clunk, clunk. And it does not even print the alphabet or numbers on top of the cards. That came later, it's called IBM 129. So I asked them if I can get a job, and they look at me and says, you're only 16 years old. And I said, I really do need a job. I have a sister to provide for, and I want to go back to school. So they took pity on me. What could they do wrong? Then I don't have any place to stay, so they took me in that too. And 6 months later, I was teaching Keepan's data entry operator, and I also was able to read those cards without any print on the top fluently. And another 6 months later, I was writing COBOL programs without even seeing a computer. Then I got a chance to go to the University of the Philippines on a field trip. And that was the first time I ever saw computers. It's called the UNIVAC, okay? They are now Unisys system. So I fell in love. I also saw IBM equipment. There was like 370s, and they were like big big computers. So I said, I want to be working in the computer industry. But going back also, let me backtrack a little bit. 7 years old, I came from a farm, and when I get off from school, I used to lay down on top of a hay, and I would wait for the Philippine Airlines to land, and they only comes twice a month. And I told myself, when I grow up, I will be working for the company that make the Philippine Airlines. Lo and behold, while I was working as a data entry instructor, I was able to go to high school. And so high school, working, supporting my sister, and at the end of the year, they have a contest, and it's called You Ace the Math, You Ace the Science, you have a ticket to the United States. So, mind you not, I'm only just finishing my first year of high school at the age of 16. Everyone was about to graduate. And I took the test, and I aced it. And that gave me a ticket to the United States, and I never left. I went to Long Beach, Woodrow Wilson Unified School. I graduated there, but they were not gonna let me graduate that year because I was only here for 1 year, supposedly. And I said, but I want to graduate high school because everyone is graduating back home. So I never gave up. I stood in front of the principal's office or dean's office or whatever, and I said I wanted to graduate by the end of this year. And they said, okay, we'll make a deal. You go to college and high school at the same time. And if you get good grades in college, then you can graduate at the end of the year. And I did just that. By this time, I decided to just stay. And by the time I was 18, 19, I kind of toyed around with schools. I went to Long Beach City College, got an AA degree. I think the only AA degrees that I did not get was the basket weaving. I got so many of them, so I started working. One day I was actually working on a hospital, and I was riding the bus. I have this thing about an affair with the bus. I looked to the side, and there it goes, Philippine Airlines. That used to be McDonnell Douglas Corporation. And I got off the bus. Lo and behold, there were so many people on the road picketing. So I asked them, and I said, where is the unemployment office? And they said, across the street. I was only 18 years old, ignoramus, so I went. They told me you cannot be hired for another 6 months because, as you can see, they are outside picketing. I said, that's okay, I can wait, I have time. 3 days later, I get a telegram. Now, in those days, they don't have, emails or anything like that, so I get a telegram to be interviewed. So I was interviewed for first shift, swing shift, and third shift. Then they called me back 4 days later, and they said, okay, we have a position for you. However, it's only 4 hours only. And I said, oh no, but I need a full-time job. And they said, well, you're gonna have to work in the stockroom and then data entry 4 hours. So Lion Rick, that's when I learned how to, without even having a driver's license, I learned how to drive a forklift. Yes. And I became an expert on that one. I'm so proud. That's how I learned how to drive. I also learned how to drive the electric car to deliver these computer papers. And when I was delivering, when they were teaching me, but I watched every move this trainer that I have. So when she went straight, when she went backward and everything like that. But what gave me away that I didn't have any driver's license is that when she tells me when I'm backing out, to your right, and I scrape the left wall. To your left, and I would scrape the right one. So they pretty much busted me about not knowing how to drive, but they actually very forgiving and taught me everything that I know. And I became one of the best employees they have. I got awards like There's No Tomorrow. I can fill in 2 albums of it. And eventually at the end, they sent me to school. I went to a private school, a university. I gained my bachelor's degree. And I also had one of the highest clearance working for McDonnell Douglas at the time. But unfortunately, in 1990, they let me go. And that's how I ended up here. And started a company with an ex, and with a $500 startup company in the garage. And about 6 years later, we were in the black with amassing $26 million. And a few years later, I just left everything in, and I have been volunteering ever since, and I have dedicated to actually volunteering for Mission City Charities, serving the veterans. And that's where I come from today. Never I thought that I will be a district governor, but I love to serve, and serving is my life, no matter what. But there's always a struggle every way, all the way, but I overcome them.
What happened to your sister?
Oh, my sister, pretty much, she graduated one of the top university in the Philippines. Right after she graduated, she was hired by Hopkins University in New York as an emergency nurse. And from there, she came to visit me in California. She met an emergency doctor, partner of Kaiser. She married him, and they're both retired. But when they got married, I told myself, I can die tomorrow, and I'll be happy. But when my sister graduated from college, I asked myself, now what? So what I did was I started sponsoring destitute children in the Philippines, starting in the 70s. Today, actually I quit doing it now since COVID, I help 32 children to gain degrees in becoming a professor, a doctor, a lawyer, a teacher, you name it. Anything that their heart desired. The only requirement I had for them, and from the teachers as well, is that they had to be absolutely destitute and their family cannot help them. But they wanted to make a difference and also to pay it back down the line, and that's what they're doing. So what I did is making a difference, and they're making a difference as well. So, in a nutshell, that's my life. I have all of you as my family, and I love you all. And I thank you, and this is what I wrote this, my last words for you guys.
Not last.
Oh,
It's just the
as a
beginning.
district governor, yes. Let's see. It has been an honor to serve as your district governor this year. I enjoy hearing from many of you about the things you have accomplished this year because of your unwavering dedication and compassion to those who need your help the most. I'm extremely proud of all the things we achieved together. The stories of your service are inspiring. Although the beneficiaries of your service may never know of your kindness, our world is better because of you. While we continue to face challenges across the globe and locally, we as Lions continue our important work. As an organization, we stood for peace, and we are united through kindness by supporting those less fortunate throughout the world during these challenging times. We support our foundation by fundraising. This amazing success made by the generosity of Lions like you. Thus, our foundation can support grant-worthy projects and empower Lions to improve health and well-being, strengthen our communities, and support those in need around the world for years to come. Lions and Leos and family and friends, thank you for giving me this opportunity to serve as your district governor. it will be forever be one of my greatest accomplishments. I look forward to continuing to serve alongside you.